Welcome to our channel where the shadows whisper and fear takes hold. Tonight we delve into the unsettling world of bridges that cry at night. These aren't just structures of steel and stone, they are haunted by tragedy, loss, and the echoes of tormented souls. Turn off the lights, sit back and prepare to be terrified, because these are three spine-chilling tales of bridges that cry at night. Nestled deep in the mist-shrouded valleys of Appalachia, there lies a bridge known only as the Wailing Bridge. Locals whisper tales of its sorrow, of the chilling wails that pierce the stillness of the night. They say that the bridge is haunted by the spirits of those who met their untimely demise within its grasp. Imagine, if you will, a moonless night. The wind howls through the valley, carrying with it a bone-chilling dampness. The only sound that dares to challenge the wind is the mournful cries emanating from the bridge. Some say the wails belong to a young woman named Eliza, who, betrayed by her lover, took her life on the bridge one starless night. Her cries of anguish, forever etched into the very fabric of the bridge, a chilling reminder of her shattered heart. One chilling account tells the story of two teenagers out for a late-night thrill who decided to test the legends of the Wailing Bridge. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and youthful arrogance, they drove towards the bridge, the headlights of their car cutting through the thick fog that had settled over the valley. As they neared the bridge, the temperature dropped and the air grew heavy, as if a weight had settled upon their chests. The hair on their arms stood on end, and a sense of dread washed over them. They parked the car a short distance from the bridge, the silence of the night broken only by the sound of their own nervous breathing. Taking a deep breath, they began to walk towards the bridge. The closer they got, the colder it seemed to get. And then they heard it, a low, mournful wail seeming to rise from the very depths of the earth itself. Frozen in place, they listened as the wail grew louder, morphing into a blood-curdling scream that seemed to tear at the very fabric of their sanity. They saw her, a figure shrouded in shadow, standing at the edge of the bridge. Her long black hair flowed in the wind, and her white dress seemed to glow in the darkness. The teenagers ran back to their car, forever haunted by the memory of the Wailing Bridge. Our next tale takes us to the windswept plains of the Midwest, where a rusty behemoth stands sentinel over a desolate stretch of highway. This is the Tragic Bridge, its name a grim testament to the countless lives claimed within its shadow. Unlike the Wailing Bridge, the Tragic Bridge doesn't wail or moan. Its horror is a quieter, more insidious kind. It's a place where the veil between our world and the next is thin, where the echoes of past tragedies linger in the air like a suffocating fog. Locals will tell you that the bridge is cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who met their end there. They say that on moonless nights you can hear the whispers of the dead, their voices carried on the wind, pleading for help, for release, for someone to hear their agonizing tales. It's said that the first tragedy to befall the bridge happened during its construction. A worker, his name lost to time, fell from the scaffolding, plummeting to his death in the river below. His body was never recovered, and legend has it that his spirit still walks the bridge, searching for peace that he can never find. Over the years, countless accidents have plagued the Tragic Bridge. Cars, their drivers blinded by fog or lost in thought, have careened off the side, plunging into the murky depths below. Each accident seemed to add to the bridge's grim reputation, fueling the whispers of a curse. But it's not just the accidents that make the Tragic Bridge so unsettling. It's the feeling that something is watching you, that you're not alone. People have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the shadows beneath the bridge, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. Others have spoken of a feeling of overwhelming sadness that washes over them as they cross the bridge, as if the weight of all the tragedies that have occurred there is pressing down on them, threatening to drag them down into the darkness. One particularly chilling account tells the story of a young couple driving home from a night out. As they approached the tragic bridge, the car radio, which had been playing cheerfully only moments before, suddenly cut out, replaced by an eerie silence. The couple exchanged a nervous glance but said nothing. They were both familiar with the stories surrounding the bridge, but they'd always dismissed them as mere superstition. Now, however, as they drove onto the bridge, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The temperature in the car seemed to plummet, and the air grew thick and heavy, making it difficult to breathe. Suddenly the car lurched violently, as if something had slammed into it from the side. The driver struggled to maintain control of the vehicle, his knuckles turning white as he fought to keep it from careening off the bridge. Our final destination takes us to the heart of the American Southwest, where the desert stretches out like an endless ocean of sand and secrets. It's here, under the scorching sun and the watchful gaze of ancient mountains, that you'll find the Weeping Woman's Bridge. This bridge, unlike the others, is shrouded in mystery. Its name, whispered in hushed tones by those who dare to speak of it, evokes a sense of profound sadness, of a grief so deep that it transcends the boundaries of life and death. Legend has it that the bridge is haunted by the spirit of Maria, a young woman who lost her children in a tragic accident many years ago. Driven mad by grief, Maria, it's said, took her own life on the bridge, her heart-wrenching sobs echoing through the canyon, forever imprinting her sorrow onto the very stones of the bridge. They say that on moonlit nights you can still hear Maria's cries, her mournful sobs carried on the wind, a chilling reminder of the tragedy that unfolded on that lonely stretch of road. Some even claim to have seen her, a solitary figure in a white gown, her long dark hair cascading down her back, standing on the bridge, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. But Maria, unlike the spirits that haunt the other bridges, is not said to be malicious. She is simply a mother trapped in her grief, forever searching for her lost children. Those who claim to have encountered her speak of a profound sadness that emanates from her, a tangible aura of despair that chills them to their core. One story, passed down through generations, tells of a young man who stumbled upon the Weeping Woman's Bridge late one night. He had been driving for hours, lost in thought, when he came to a fork in the road. Unsure of which way to go, he pulled over to the side of the road to consult his map. As he unfolded the map, he noticed a small handwritten note scrawled in the margin. It read simply, "Beware the Weeping Woman's Bridge." The man scoffed. He didn't believe in ghosts or legends. He refolded the map, started his car, and continued on his journey. As he rounded a bend in the road, he saw it. The Weeping Woman's Bridge, bathed in the pale glow of the moon, seemed to materialize out of thin air. The man felt a shiver run down his spine, but he couldn't explain why. He had seen plenty of bridges in his life. There was nothing inherently frightening about this one. And yet, as he drove closer, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching him. He rolled down his window, hoping to catch a breath of fresh air. But the air inside the car seemed to grow colder, heavier. The hair on the back of his neck stood on end. And then he heard it, a soft sob, carried on the wind, barely audible at first, but growing louder with each passing second. The man's heart began to race. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey into the heart of darkness. We've explored the chilling tales of 3 bridges, each haunted by its own unique brand of horror. Remember, these are just a few of the countless stories whispered in hushed tones around campfires and late-night diner counters. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling tales. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the bridges that cry at night, for their cries may be the last thing you hear.